Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time of visiting this channel, I would like you to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to smash the notification bell so that whenever I post a new video you will get notified as soon as possible. Yeah, so last week, you all know what is going on, all right? The Russia and then the Ukraine issue, all right? And I think I informed you guys that there's going to be lots of volatility on the market, and we saw it happen on Thursday, all right? Yes, so Thursday we saw how volatility was so high on the market, all right? Yes, and I'm expecting it to continue going into next week, all right? Yes, so you wouldn't want to put your account in a jeopardy, so you always have to make sure you use proper risk management, all right? Yes, and then stay off the market if you can't be in such volatility, all right? Yes, stay off the market if you can't be in such volatility, or better still, you ensure proper risk management. Yeah, so going into next week, these are the pairs that I would like us to, just as we usually do, all right? And at least last week I think we took just two pairs, all right? We concentrated on GBPJPY and then NZDJPY. Those were the trades that we only took last week. Yes, and I think and AUDJPY. So last week we took just 3 trades, all right? And it really went well. If you are really in my Telegram community, you would testify to that, all right? So going into next week, I'd like us to look at these pairs and then see what the market has for us going into next week. Yes, so let's look at what is happening on the dollar index, all right? Yeah, so if you don't know, due to what is happening, all right, due to what is happening, investors are shifting their focus on investing into the US currency, all right? That is why you've seen the USD on a bullish run. Yeah, that is why you've seen the USD on a bullish run. So going into next week, I'm expecting to see that bullishness to continue. And prior to this movement that happened last week on the market, basically we're expecting to see that bullishness. Yeah, we're basically expecting that bullishness to happen. So it was more or less like a liquidity injection on the market, all right? Yes, so once this high has been cleared, this one too has been cleared, I'm expecting price to continue to shift to the upside, all right? Yeah, so going into next week, I'm going to be bullish on the dollar index, all right? Just that before we continue to see that bullishness, I'm expecting to see price come retrace, fill this liquidity void, all right? Fill this liquidity void and then tap into this bearish candle we are seeing here, and then we see a movement to the upside. Yeah, so let's get to the lower time frame for us to see things clearer. So just as you've seen, so on the 4 hour, we are seeing a consolidation, then expansion, all right? And what we are currently seeing is retracement. So going into next year, I'm expecting that this retracement will be completed, all right? We've seen a fair value gap here, all right? That is here, between here and then here. That is a fair value gap. So I'm expecting price to fill that, and then we see a continuation to the upside. So that is my expectation on the dollar index. Let's look at what is happening on the AUDUSD. Let's look at what is happening on AUDUSD. So just as I always tell you, all right, if I'm expecting the dollar index to move to the upside, and definitely I expect the AUDUSD to move to the downside, all right? But look at this. We saw gold move to the upside last week, all right? Why? Gold is a safe haven, all right? So in cases like this, when events like this happen on the market, all right, when events like this happen, just like the Russia and the Ukraine, when it happens like this, investors always want to shift their focus into these safe havens, and gold is one of the safe havens, all right? And we know the Australian dollar is a commodity currency in gold. Yes, and so if gold is really bullish, then you should know what is going to happen in the Australian dollar. All right, but hey, going into next week, we will see how price is going to react. All right, so look at this. Look at what is happening on the odd USD on a daily time frame. All right, it's really indecisive at the moment. All right, it's so indecisive at the moment. So going into next week, I'll just be a little bit reluctant on this pair and see how it's going to react. All right, if price is able to break this low we are seeing here, then definitely we are going to target these lows. All right, if price is able to break this low. But if this bearish candle we are seeing here is able to hold price, then definitely we are going to see some movement to the upside. Yeah, if this bearish candle we are seeing is able to hold price, then you're going to see movement to the upside. So going into next week, I'll be very particular about this pair. I'll wait and see if price will be able to break this pair. Once it breaks and close below this candle, yeah, once it's able to break and close below this candle, then definitely we are going to see price take this low, and then this low to us. Yeah, so that is my expectation on AUDUSD going into next week. Let's look at what is happening on AUDJPY. Yeah, so for AUDJPY going into next week, we are seeing more or less like a consolidation here. Yeah, on the 4 hour. All right, we saw price. This is more or less like a consolidation to me from the bigger perspective. All right, but when we look at what is happening here, we saw an impulse move to the upside. All right, so if I'm to concentrate on this, then that means I will expect price to what, to fill up this liquidity pool we are seeing here, and then we see price move to the upside. All right, I'm bullish though on this pair. All right, but let's see what happens. If price is able to break this low, then that means my directional bias on this pair is going to change to bearish. All right, targeting this liquidity we see here. All right, but at the moment it's not so clear. It's not so clear moment. All right, just because of these consolidations we are seeing here. So I'll look at what will happen on Monday. All right, I'll observe how this pair is going to react on Monday's price action. All right, let's look at the daily and see what is really happening from a bigger time frame. All right, yes, so this is it. All right, it's really undecisive at the moment. Trust me, it's so rough. All right, there's nothing so much interesting on this pair at the moment. All right, so going into Monday, I will really be very reluctant and then see how price is going to react so far as Monday's price action is concerned. Then from there I'll be able to take a decision on this pair. Yeah, so let's look at what is happening on NZDJPY. Let's look at what is happening on NZDJPY. Yes, this is NZDJPY, and look at what is happening. All right, look at what is happening. Price, we've seen price trying to move to the upside, which is bullish. Yes, is bullish. All right, so going into next week, I'll expect to see price break this level we are seeing here, and then we see a retest. If price breaks and then close above this line, then definitely I'll be targeting this high and then this high too as well. All right, yeah, so going into next week, that will be my expectation on NZDJPY. All right, yes, at the moment it's not giving us a clear picture. All right, it's not giving us a clear picture at the moment. Yes, so going into next week, that is going to be my expectation. If this level, price is able to break this level and close above this level, then I'll be going in for some bullish trades. All right, yes, but if this level is able to hold price, then definitely these lows are going to be attacked. Definitely these lows are going to be attacked. So that is my expectation on NZDJPY too. So let's look at what is happening on NZDUSD. Let's look at what is happening on NZDUSD. Yes, so for NZDUSD is looking bearish. All right, yes, this pair is looking bearish. So just as I spelled out on AUDUSD, I'm also expecting the same thing on NZDUSD. I'm expecting to see price hold or break this line, right? If price is able to hold or break this line, that is where I will decide as to what I'm going to do. All right, if price is able to break this zone, all right, if price is able to break the zone, then I'll look for sell opportunities. But if it's able to hold, if price holds the zone, that is this bearish candle we are seeing here, then definitely I'm going to see some move to the upside. Yeah, so that is my expectation on NZDUSD. Things are not so clear on the market at the moment. Yeah, that is why I'm giving you that is why I'm not giving you a direct expectation. All right, things are not so clear, and when it happens like this, you always need to look at the market in 2 weeks. All right, if this happens, this is what we'll do. If this happens, this is what you do. That is what you should be doing as a trader. All right, yes. So for USDCAD, if you could remember, we were waiting for price to break out of this consolidation, and definitely it did. All right, it broke to the upside. So at the moment, I'm expecting to see if price will be able to reverse from this zone. All right, yes, I'm expecting price to reverse from this zone then to the upside, because the USD is strong. All right, we're expecting to see some strength in the USD going into next week. All right, and the USD and then USDCAD, that is the dollar index, and then the USDCAD are positively correlated. All right, that means they move in the same direction. So if I'm expecting to see some bullishness in the dollar index, then I should expect to see some bullishness and the USDCAD too as well. All right, so going into next week, I'll expect price to bounce off this zone we are seeing here, and then we see price moving to the upside. All right, because I mean, you saw consolidation. So from consolidation, the next thing you should expect is expansion. From expansion, retracement, and then we see a continuation to the upside. So that is my expectation on USDCAD. Let's look at what is happening on EURUSD too as well. All right, if I'm expecting a dollar index to move to the upside, EURUSD, it should be a bearish move. All right, yeah. So going into next week, this is really giving us a bearish sentiment. Yeah, so going into next week, I'll expect to see price come up. All right, come up to this zone. All right, I don't expect to see price break and close above the zone. All right, yes, if I'm a bearish on this, but that is my expectation. Perhaps last week we were expecting this candle to be broken, if you could remember. All right, yes, last week in my weekly forecast, I said I want to see price break the zone, and definitely it did that. So once it has break, I need to see price close below this bearish candle we are seeing here, then we target the downside. All right, yes, so I'm bearish on EURUSD going into next week. Let's look at what is happening on GBPUSD. Let's look at what is happening on GBPUSD. Yes, GBPUSD is also giving us a bearish sentiment. All right, it's giving us a bearish sentiment, and going into next week, I expect to see price at least fill 50% of this liquidity void we are seeing here, and then we see price move to the downside. Yes, so going into next week, I'm going to be bearish on GBPUSD. Last but not the least, let's look at what is happening on GBPJPY. Let's look at what is happening on GBPJPY. Yes, so for GBPJPY going into next week, I'll be very much particular about this candle. Yes, this bearish candle. All right, I'll be very much particular about this bearish candle we are seeing here. I will patiently wait to see price break and close below this bearish candle. Then I'll expect to see price move to the downside, clearing these lows. Yes, clearing these lows into this area. Yeah, so going into next week, that is my expectation. All right, I expect to see if price will be able to break this bearish candle. If price is not able to break this bearish candle, then definitely we are going to see higher prices on GBPJPY. All right, so that is just that for my expectations so far as next week is concerned. All right, if you're not part of my community yet, please look through the description box below to check the link, and then click on it, and then become part of my Telegram community. All right. Yeah, so that is just that. All right, so going into next week, ensure that you continue with your risk management, because volatility is going to be massive next week just because of the Russia and then the Ukraine issue. Yeah, so that is just that. If you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and smash the notification bell. Don't forget to also like as well and comment. All right, let me see your comment and look in your likes. It's very important to me. Let me see your comment and your likes. All right, yes, so that is just that. I wish you all good luck and good trade.